Welcome back to my channel. This is Rusty Russell Russ. Hope everybody's having a good day, good evening, good morning, wherever you're at. I'm gonna walk Winston. I'm feeling lethargic right now. I put in a pretty brutal morning. And then I went to the gym. And I started feeling lazy. And I got stuck sitting on the couch after lunch watching TV. I mostly watch YouTube channels. I wish I had YouTube back when I was a young man. I think you get a better education from YouTube than you do in school, to be honest with you. YouTube provides you access to many hundreds of videos, how to do this and how to do that. And you can take a little bit from each video and eventually you can figure out how to do something. You know, when something's broke that I come across, I've never been down that road with the particular repair, like on that grandstand mower I've got to do the hydraulic change, the hydraulic oil change. I don't know how to do that. The shop wants $600 to change the hydraulic fluid in my mower. Watched about 4 YouTube channels the other night on it, and it's not hard at all to do. You just got to do it. You make mistakes, fix your mistakes. It's a nice day out today. The skies are blue. We had tons of rain the other day, and Winston likes to tie me up in the rope every chance he gets. He thinks it's funny. So just get outside, do something. Be out there walking your dog with your thoughts. Look around and see the trees and hear the birds and stuff, and interrupt it with a human being making another YouTube channel video. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey so far. I just started YouTube last week, and I wanted to share with everybody, my 20 subscribers, what my experience has been like. Well, I tell you what, I go to bed tired. I wake up full of energy because I've got all these thoughts in my head that I want to get out there and put on YouTube. I've got 52 and a half years of Earth experience, and some of my friends have suggested that I share some of my bumps and bruises with folks. And I said, all right, after 3 years, 2 years or so, I decided to get off the sidelines and disregard what the coach said and put myself in the game. I consider myself a below average American. And what I mean by that is, I'm not the wealthiest person in the world. I'm not the richest person in the world. And nothing's come easy for me. I've had to work hard for everything I've gotten. I've had a lot of jobs. I've owned a lot of businesses. Been married and divorced, and now I'm remarried. And life's tough. Nothing's easy. A friend of mine might have prostate cancer, you know. Waiting to hear back from him. He got his test results yesterday, and they say no news is good news. Is no news good news? I don't know. I'm afraid to reach out to him and ask him how he's doing, you know. I don't want to hear bad news. I want to hear nothing but good news. So I'm dreading that. I'm supposed to meet with him this week and maybe go to lunch. And I'm afraid to give him a call, you know, and life's tough, you know. One of the richest people I know said the only thing we've got is our health, you know, and everything else doesn't matter. So I consider myself, I guess, pretty lucky. I don't get sick that often, and my dad had a heart transplant, and the doctors aren't sure if it's genetics or what, but only time will tell, I guess. So anxiety runs in my family, which is no fun. Last night I thought I had an aneurysm in my sleep, and sometimes your brain can be your worst enemy. Your brain starts telling you things like, oh, 15 minutes from now you're going to be dead, or you're not going to make it past 4:30 tomorrow. You're slowly bleeding to death, you know. So it's tough how powerful your thinking can affect your body. So you have to think about your thinking. So not many people are watching my channel right now. And I'm not doing this to get rich, and I'm not doing this to get famous. I'm challenging myself to get in front of the camera, share my knowledge with people, and tell me what your thoughts are on Americans, below average, above average. I know 9% of Americans are debt free. I've never had a job at a major or large company. I'm not on the board of directors of anyone. I've worked for all those people, all the people that were on the board of directors for this big company, that big company. The guy who painted the UPS trucks brown, Patrick Mahomes' neighbor. I've worked for lots of wealthy people. One thing I've learned about working for the elite, the very, very rich, is they don't come up to you and they don't say, hey, you want to be rich like us? Let me show you how I got this massive house and this beautiful cars and this top of the line clothes and how to pick the right stocks and make the best investments and stuff. It's never happened. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm taking Winston off his leash here. I'm telling you right now, they don't want us to be like them. They like having me in the role I played for them in their life. They want me to show up, mow their lawn, make their bushes look good, pick up their dead branches, make their house look presentable, and leave. They want me to answer the phone when they call me. They want me to answer emails and texts when they text and email me. "14 years ago, I had nothing. I lost everything I had. And I started on a journey, and I wanted to make sure that I was never in that position ever again. Now, as of a couple years ago, I can decide if I want to work for wealthy people or not. And most of my customers that I have now are not the super wealthy. I've gotten rid of all of them. Where I'm at in my life, I don't want to deal with the stress anymore. I don't want to have the Saturday at 9 o'clock conversation about a dead spot in their yard, or how come their yard doesn't look like their neighbor's yard, or am I still coming at the same time on Tuesday because they have the pressure washer there and they want to make sure that they can get the house pressure washed with no concerns with my schedule. Just stuff to think about, you know. When I had nothing, I had no choice. I had to crawl around on my hands and knees and eat dirt, work long hours, do things I didn't want to do. I used to have a motto: I'm going to chew my arm off first before I'm not at this customer's house. When I was tired, I did it tired. When I was hungry, I did it hungry. When it rained, I did it in the rain. I found that when something's hard, it gets easier. So, do the hard work, put in the hard work. And then when things get easy, add to your workload, get more work, buy more accounts. And do that until that becomes easy. And then do more. That's how you grow. I'm trying to get good at YouTube here. Only you guys are going to tell me how good I am at this or not. This is one of the biggest challenges I've ever undertaken in my life. This is probably the hardest thing I'll ever do in my life, is to get in front of this camera and talk to the whole world and share who I am and what I'm about and what I've done. And that's not easy. Like the kid I bought this camera stick from at Best Buy. He's terrified of getting in front of the camera. Is he missing out on an opportunity? I think he is. He's got more talent than me. He's smarter than me. He knows the computers and stuff. My first videos had no thumbnail. I don't know how to edit. I had to go back and add thumbnails to my videos. I realized a couple nights ago, I have no thumbnails. If you ask me what a thumbnail is, it's a nail on your thumb. I still don't know what a thumbnail is. I guess it's like a snapshot or insight into what the video is going to be about. And some of the videos I watched, some of those gurus with millions of subscribers, they tell you if if your content doesn't match your thumbnail, then you're not giving the audience what they asked for. So during lunch, I just watched a video about a guy. He has a homestead channel. Super nice, quiet guy, soft spoken. He's had his channel for a few years. He finally got monetized. He had one of the best explanations of from start to where he's at now, YouTube explaining video I have watched, and I've watched all of them. The guys with the gel in their hair and the fancy backgrounds and the fancy watch on their wrist. This guy, dressed more rugged than I am, gave what I consider the best teaching on what I'm trying to do. And I appreciate that. His motives aren't to get rich and famous. I've seen these rich and famous YouTubers. I've got one in my town here. He's one of the most famous YouTubers in the world. I don't want to be like him. He can't go to a restaurant without somebody harassing him or picking on him. He can't even drive down the street. Someone recognizes him and pulls up next to his vehicle. Almost wrecked his vehicle. Trying to say something maybe mean to him or nice to him. I'm not sure. I don't recollect, but all I know is that I finally figured out something. I want to reap some of the benefits from working hard every day, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And what you do with that hard work, you plant it in the ground and you water it and you keep an eye on it. My equipment, my truck, my trailer, my shop, that's my barn. And without all that stuff, I can't go out and work. And when that kid Brandon stole all my stuff, he got me good. You know, he put a hurting on my business. But a responsible Boy Scout type person that I am, I had backup equipment. I had another truck, another trailer, another mower, another weed eater, another blower. If his intention was trying to put me out of business, well, he failed. He didn't put me out of business. What he did to me made me stronger, made me smarter, made me wiser. I made a really good friend because of what he did to me. The place where he works right now, his boss knows what he did to me, and his boss doesn't care. I thought about sending the boss all the court documents. You know, I don't want to get the kid fired, but I don't think the boss would fire him. I just don't think the boss cares. Maybe one of these days I'll share a little bit more about that. There's an old saying, don't go borrowing trouble, you know. There's phase 2 of this lawsuit. You know, I've got to go after him for the rest of the equipment he stole from me, and damages. You know, the 40-year-old man that's fixing to have a judgment against him for the rest of his life, because I know he doesn't have any money to pay me my restitution. You know. So I'm out here walking around talking to you guys, and I love it. And I appreciate every single one of you that have stopped by to watch one of my videos. And if you want to subscribe and you like this stuff, great. If you don't like me or what I'm rambling on about, then, you know, I appreciate you dropping in and saying hello. And I will catch you guys on the next one. And if you can drop in the comments below what your thoughts on a below average American is, maybe we can dive into that, because I think there's different levels of people in the United States. You know, there's the people that are homeless, people who are living in government housing, people that are renting, people that are buying their own home, people that own their own home, people that own many homes, people that own buildings, people that own, you know, a town, an island, you know. I don't know what to classify myself as, you know. If people ask me, you know, what do you classify yourself as, you know? I say maybe a below average American, you know. Life's tough. The world's tough, you know. And if you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, they say now is the time to do it. They want to see more of us out there walking around with a $19 camera stick and the cell phone that you use to call your mom with. And they want you to upload something about yourself, teach something to somebody, share a joke, inspire somebody. Oh man, I used to be friends with, he passed away. He always told me a joke. Every time I call him, he'd tell me a joke. I think one of his jokes was, if milk's so good for you, why do cows only live 10 years? So with that, you guys have the best day you can. Thank you for dropping by.